Onwards and upwards. This is Robbie Window. Welcome to US Stream. It's been 2 years since I've logged into here. It's 2013, Christmas Eve, and I want to talk to you about a couple of things. Probably about blogging, probably about, dare I say it, search engine optimization. And just to connect really with people on a level that some of you like videos. I know less people like reading now. It's more about visual impact images, so it's no frills. So okay, my name is Robert Bridge, and I have a few websites on the intranet. Lucky enough to have a few domain names, and I logged in today, had a look at some stuff, did a few updates, and I made a blog post. Yay! Now, some of you may have heard me speak before. It's like the lonely blogger. Oh, I'm not so lonely now. I've got a dog, so he's behind me, probably sleeping. Just had a bowl of cereal. It was nice. I haven't had cereal for about a year. I guess that's what inspired me to come on here. Because I'm not in the US, I'm in the UK. This should be UK stream. But where shall I start? Okay, well, let me just try and explore a little bit about what I've been doing this year with blogging, and how that came about. Was it from me? What sources was it actually from? And how I think it's been productive for me, not just as a blogger, but as someone who's trying to keep the brain going, and you know, just it's about the lexical anyway. A bit of background is, I guess, my education. So I've got a degree in English and media. So these are things that I should be dipping into. It's been about 3 years now, and I like to do my best to just keep the flame alive of building a career with what I know, and kind of expand upon that about other things that I know, things that I'm noticing on the internet. Things are changing again. And they're making it all really, really glossy and happy, and you know, it's all trying to generate this understanding of mobile. They're trying to get people out of the house. But of course, as you know, when you go out the house, there's a lot of people, a lot of distraction, lack of bandwidth, and just a slow service, you know. Applications are the one way that they believe that this is gonna thing, but anybody knows an application, well, just like the internet, if it's clunky, they're gonna delete it. The good thing is with audio, maybe not necessarily video, because no one likes kind of scrunching into the screen. Audio is something that possibly works really well on the phone, and of course there's so many different audio shows now where you can not only host them but plug it into Apple, plug it into places where you want it to be. And you can format that in many different ways. Any blog, whether it's a free one, from bloggers to WordPress, the code is there on the internet. Just search around and you'll be able to take that MP3 uploaded, hosted somewhere, from PhotoBucket. You can host them on PhotoBucket to other ones that are more acceptable to iTunes, other bucket facilities. I remember my first mobile phone, I had it for 3 hours and I dropped it in a bucket of water. I brought it back to the shop. It was still looked good and everything, and the guy just kind of gave me a refund. It was very good. Kind of dried it off a bit, we didn't talk about the thing, but yeah, that was pay as you go, which is interesting because phones have come a long way since then, and I've had a lot of conversations over the phone with a small amount of people, and I've really enjoyed it. I think there's less pressure in a conversation than what there is in a recording a video when you don't really know who you're talking to. So if I was to tell you everything that I want to tell you about the internet and how to widen your reach, I don't even think you'd listen, so I'm not going to go on about that too much. But also as well, it's this oneness. The more that we can contribute to everything we do, whether it's online or offline, it's that oneness. It has an effect on the whole world, So I like to keep people on par and bring them up to where I would like them to be, but other people are coming in at, they're coming in at different stages, and they're coming from different places where they're getting guidance already. There's a lot of stuff that they don't know, and they'll be sat there for years just trying to be happy with the crowd of people, not really building any more relationships. They're just going to have the same people in their tribe who are going to enjoy what they have, or pretend they enjoy it in the hope that they will enjoy it back. And it is good to bookmark other people's stuff and expand social media reach that way. It's not going to dilute anything what you're doing. In fact, I think you'll find that you'll see a big massive spike in traffic. But nothing's really changed. Nothing really has changed. They're trying to change stuff. They're trying to make it, they're trying to semantically this is what's happening now. We've enjoyed a lot of Google videos, which are now disappeared. We've enjoyed a lot of counterculture places to reside and share music, get involved in poetry and stuff, but the mainstream has been around for a long time, long time, and it's there, and it's just waiting to semantically overshadow what anybody's doing. Because there's this kind of we're in Europe, so there's a two-way thing going on. There's many different voices that need to be heard, and these voices are outsourcing all different types of things. So they're coming in on anything popular. You're going to see it change. I seen it with my Trash Robot years ago, so I'm well aware of the competition online. So you really need to be careful when you're amplifying what you're doing, because the more you amplify it, then the more that the old school way of doing things can be made to a quality which you're not going to be able to match that. So they will instantly be above you. But you know, you can really just keep trying. And there's many people there to back you up. And I think if you are a blogger and you're not a webmaster, and you are not you're not developing or following a communicator, then that's perhaps why you're feeling frustrated. I wouldn't get too bogged down by it too much, you know, but it's never been easy to activate your power, but there's never been a time where it's been so much more of a distraction. And then the main distraction is if you're searching for something. So if you don't have a content suite now, or you're not using some kind of internal bottlenosing everything together, which is relevant as the further you go down the line, you're going to find it more difficult on the internet search base. So Bing, Yahoo, Google, these pages, especially on the mobile, the first place you're going to notice any change is on the mobile. For some reason the indexing is different on the phone. It will merge together. One thing I really like about searching now, and I think it's a good habit to get into, is actually speaking into Google. So it's not doing any pattern recognition, it's not recognizing your voice or anything like that, you know. Whether you're logged into your Gmail account or not, it's going to recognize your voice. You could be talking in Chinese and I guess it'd be the same thing. But if you speak slowly and clearly and articulate what it is in 3 words or more, what you're searching for, then it will take you to that page, which is great. Again, it's all kind of trying to shift the whole game onto the mobile phone, and that is assuming that people have smartphones, which most people do have smartphones that I know, but there are a large majority of people who have a lot of nostalgia for the old style phones, and they will never be searching on the internet because they don't have internet access on the phone. Partly that would be an economic thing. So that's another thing that is often overlooked with the internet, is people assume that everybody is choosing to go searching around looking for what they want to do. When in actual fact they're not, they're just going out for a walk. But they're stood around feeling lonely, and they're thinking, how can I learn how to just send an email or something? This is the reality. It's took me years to kind of figure that out, and even still now, that still exists. I think it's a decision that people make as well. They make this decision and say no. They're very strong in their guns and say, I will not go on the intranet. They have some kind of phobia against it or something. So it's hardly worth really talking about. But I think it's changed. Most people are on the internet, and depending on what culture you come from, or where you live, or what your bandwidth limitations are, or what your occupation is, that kind of prevents you from getting involved on the intranet base, is you're going to get it one way or another. So if you've got a TV and you're watching TV, then the chances are you do have a smartphone, because you'll have been kind of I don't like saying this word, but you've been groomed by these kind of things to go on Twitter, because they're all talking about this conversation. So when you hear in the news it'd be quite serious about something, and then it's like, well, go on Twitter and join in the chat. And you go on Twitter and join in the chat, and all you see is just all these robots sending links everywhere. Now the way to do that is just don't follow people who follow you, because you're going to be saying good stuff, But don't follow people who follow you who've got 2,000 followers and no followers themselves, because it's just going to be a machine. And then of course there's a big moving now, which most people know about, and that has been around for 2 years as well, and that's the AppNet thing. So you're going into AppNet, and you can basically take your blog and add your RSS feed there, so it just posts it automatically there. And then there's people on AppNet, who are, because it's become public now, you can do it for free. Originally you had to buy it for $200. I kind of knew that eventually they'd just make it open source, but it's got high authority, it's got a high-ish authority. But the thing is any of these different microsites, when you're going to be using a link shortener anyway, especially if it's coming from an RSS feed. It'll be on if this then that, or it'll just be coming through as a bit.ly link shortener. If you don't know what a link shortener is, just type it in Google and have a look. So basically, if we're talking about SEO optimization, this actual link thing is not really important. What's important is the triggers, the points of triggers of where it's coming from, and the actual people who find it, which is more important. I suppose the easiest way to do it would just have big faith, like some people have a big faith in God, is like that, he will notice what you're doing. Is that having faith in the someone's going to find your post, through traditional methods. Now everybody kind of know, if you're not paying to get that word out there, then you really have to make an effort, and you have to share your own stuff. But if you share your own stuff, it doesn't mean anything. What means something is if you share it and people find it, and then they jump on it and embrace it. That's the great thing about a community. If you've got a website where you've got a load of writers, or if you've got a show which has got a load of people's shows. It's like, I know everybody are in their own space and are in their own world, but it's going to be of more benefit for them to come together and start counter sharing. So it'd be like everybody's the host. You know, if it was a show, everybody's the host, and everybody's here's the next act, and it's not the compare that's doing it. It's it's everybody. Here's the host. Here's the next act. Here's the next act. Here's the next act. Here's the next act. Everybody there, and that is basically it. You know, that's the optimization. That's the also as well consideration is like, who are these people? How many followers do they have? And basically a lot of search engines, I'm pretty sure, are quite biased with that. There might be somebody with not many followers, but they're what they say carries a lot of weight. You know, because of their amplification. You know, some people, they only have a few hundred followers or something, but every post they make, it's like they're at the top of the chain. You know, they're the collectors. They're the conscious collectors. They're the people who are feeding and guiding people through it. So I don't know what else to say. I think a video I made here about 3 years ago was waffling on about Masons and Mormons, you know, the the kind of underwear thing. I think that was the political. It was a political joke anyway about Mitt Romney. But I get a bit distracted when viewers come on and they're like viewing, because there's nowhere to see what's going on. There's no feedback. In fact, I think most people who come on to US stream, somebody like me, who's got no flashing lights in the background and no products to kind of glean your eyes with, is it's just not very entertaining, is it? But I promised you I'd mention what I mean, it's taken me ages. It's gone on a right waffle. But most people aren't even interested in indexing and search. You know, they're happy with the fact that the people who are there have got access. You know, as long as you can give them the URL link, then that's good. And that's the great thing about I don't know, maybe some of you will come on here and think, from Skype or from Facebook or Twitter, just to find out who the hell this guy is, you know. But you can share it, you know. You can take that link and then you can put it out there. And people can go and have a look. You know, rather than people just coming along on the back end. This is terrible, but people are coming along on the back end. I don't think they're even on the internet. They must be on some kind of back end thing, and they're doing it through, I don't know what this CISPA thing is, you know, but they're doing it through the Tor or whatever, and they're coming through IP addresses and throwing links on blogs, joining the database with crazy emails. I just don't understand WordPress whatsoever. I've been on it for years, but it's getting a lot nicer and a lot easier. But I got this. I looked on it before. There's only 69 people who got it. It was about 3 or 4 months ago on JV something or other, and it's this thing which basically you can have all your plugins updated, across all the websites. So you can transfer plugins if you've got about 7. Most people just have one website and one domain, but I think you'll find that on a domain you can have, like, I think it's about 30 or 40 domain names on the basic plan, on HostGator. So I mean, I don't know anyone who kind of takes advantage of that, but because you've got to think about the annual subscription as well. If you've got 30 domains, that's going to be 300 quid over the year, annual domain name. And as you know, you can put ads on all you want. You can have a website which is at the top of Google for a certain search. It doesn't mean people are going to click the ads. You can get millions of impressions with not one click on an ad. Now, another thing that I've noticed this week again, which I was intrigued with a few years ago, but might be a bit easier, so I'm kind of saying it, putting it out there as a conscious decision myself to kind of take a look at it, at least, is, rather than Google, we've got Amazon, 2 very, very obvious ways of advertising, even though nobody bloody clicks them, is Yahoo. So we can go through to Yahoo and take a look. I mean, I don't know what they used to ask you questions before you could do these things. So they say, like, well, how many hits did you get to your site? And they'd go by that, But after getting loads and loads of hits to my site, and realising that not many people click to it, I think that's the question they should be asking. It's like, well, how many people do you think might click your ads? What ways are you going about of positioning your ads, And that's been always something that so I've done Google Academy. I've done that Google Academy thing. I've done the Google, they send me letters and stuff. They sent me a bag. All I have to do is just kind of help people, give them discount on vouchers and stuff. But I haven't found one person who's willing to commit and give it a go with me. I'll keep doing it though, keep trying, because that's maybe one way of positioning yourself as a you're not a broker, but as a medium for this sort of work, because people want this kind of stuff done. They want leads, they want leads from Google, not just for the instant hit kind of thing, but with the knowledge that this also helps with your search optimization, not just from the testing factors that you can do with it, and taking it more seriously. I don't know what I'm really saying. I think what I'm saying is I'm gutted that I've never really paid anybody to do stuff for me in certain different things, like designing, branding, designing websites, because like it used to cost a lot of money, and now you can be done really, really cheaply. But for some reason there's a lot of branding companies out there. They're all on TED. They're all talking from their seminars that they do to their people, but really they're just like me. They've got a prettier face, they do more moving, they're younger, they're upstarts, but they're developers. There's something not right about it. You just listen to the content and what they're saying after 2 hours of listening to it, and then go to it and say, well, that was really good, but what have they actually taught me? What have they told me that's any different from Facebook, Twitter, or MySpace? This is turning into me complaining. So if you don't like that and you think you're judging me for that, then I understand. But I just hope that you take on board what I'm saying, because I want to push the goalposts out there a little bit. I'm sick of hearing crap, and they'll kind of dress it up with some articulated, video in a kind of a drawing format, and all the piano playing in the background to get everybody thinking, yeah, this is great, to share it. All that sharing is just noise, it really is. You'll know about it when you hear something special. You'll know when something's good. But the problem with when something's and here's the horrible thing: when something is really good, when a domain is really good, it's even going to get bought out by some company, or they're going to run out of funds, because it's literally took them years to get to that place, and by that time, there's no capital injected into it. They're just going to can't even afford the hosting anymore. But I think when you look behind that and you look into that more, the chances are that there's either been some kind of dispute where another company's come in and said, like, can you not do that please, because we're here doing that, and then there'll be some kind of argument going on within the courts, or people die. A lot of these developers and old school boys who are doing it, they've been at it for years. They're quite old, and when they hand in the reins, there's no one there to really replace them. I mean, how do you? This is the thing as well. I'm noticing with websites now, and I can understand why it works like gangbusters, but is that having that employment link? Find a job on your page. Come here, find a job. When you're on my site, have a look. Find out how you can get employed, and it sends you off to some kind of data mining job search. Where they want your CV, and it's all done semantically that way. But this semantic indexing that's happening now it's not from Google. It's not from organisations. It's from individuals who represent certain organisations, who see an opportunity, and then they will basically go back to their boss and say, can you get somebody to do this for me? And then they'll just throw all the labels on, where this, that, and the other. And don't believe half the hype that you see. If it's semantically messing about, it's somebody there who's an SEO person, probably in India, who are just trying to give somebody some more traffic and some more authority. So they see a pocket there and they go, I'm going to take from that there and I'm going to put it on there. A lot of it, I might be mistaken, it might be real. These organisations with the names that they make, they might be real, but don't be put off by what you see, because half of what's on the internet, people can say anything, and they're aligning themselves with all these different companies and stuff like that. And they probably are being financed by them companies, because I can understand there is this kind of real problem where, especially with indexing semantically, is that there's a lot of noise. There's a lot of facts that are coming out that aren't really facts, and that they're trying to make a matter of fact out of another matter of fact to kind of suppress it. Coming from the left, and they'll be coming through with their kind of bullshit, and it's like it's happening and it's real, but it's not happening as an organisation. It's coming from individuals. That's what I'm trying to say. So it's coming from some guy who's got some kind of problem. I'm bored now anyway, so I'm going to finish here, and thank you for following through with me. If there's any questions that you have, then just go to my website, robertbridge.co.uk, robert-bridge.co.uk, robertbridge.co.uk, or the same robertbridge.mobi or .info. Any of them places you can leave a comment. Find me on Twitter, LinkedIn, all these different places. And I want to talk to you about something because I've got a lot of ideas, but I think I work better when I'm trying to help you. See what I mean? So, and I'm not one of these people who would kind of vacuum you and they're trying to suck ideas or anything like that. I'm just here for the hell of it. If you dig that, then let's hook up, okay? I'm gonna take the dog for a walk. See you later.